those river levels, and what does it take to get an accurate reading? Our team coverage continues with Storm Track 8 meteorologist Andrew Stutzke.
Measuring a historic crest is no easy task, especially when it's unexpected.
Yeah, wake up. Oh, it rained 8/10 of an inch, and that was just enough to put us over the record here. The water's still in the wells.
Chris Treefry is just one of several people at Lock and Dam 15, tasked with keeping a close eye on the mighty Mississippi.
It's interesting. We've set a lot of records in my career already, both low and high.
Each location along the river is unique, and measuring it requires skill.
At some of the sites, the sensors, the water gets too high for the sensors to read, but here we're nice and high and are able to get the full range of water levels.
Using two specialized methods, measurements are taken each and every minute. It takes teamwork to keep the data flowing, and that's where Gene Van Dusseldorp comes in.
Our lockman actually still manually inputs the data, so there's so many redundancies built in.
While one method relies on the pressure of the water above the river bed, the other, it involves a floating measurement that's taken from the depths of a nearby well.
And then I would measure from here to water surface, and I take that measurement and subtract it from the 26.72, and that would give me stage.
As for the numbers and river stages, Treefry says it's just a number.
Years ago, these stage numbers were determined to get you to a certain elevation, and it's unique to each site. So 20 feet here at Lock and Dam 15 does not mean you have 20 feet of water.
Their goal is simple: helping protect what's important.
That's what it's all about. Life and property. Life. If it's all about people.
The hydrologists at the National Weather Service office in the Quad Cities monitor 121 river gauges throughout eastern Iowa and western Illinois. That includes gauges on the Mississippi, Cedar, Iowa, Rock, and other rivers, creeks, and streams in our area. Denise?
You have a front row seat to history.
Storm Track 8 meteorologist Andrew Stutzke is in for Eric with a sneak peek at the changes that are on the way.
That's right, and beginning with the first change we had this weekend, kind of one of the drier periods that the Quad Cities has experienced in a number of days, and it's really amazing what can happen when you can get 2 to 3 of these dry days back to back. In fact, if you take a look at the trends on the Mississippi River as we go throughout this week, now this doesn't include the upcoming rainfall, but thanks to the dry pattern, if we don't receive any heavy rain, it does appear we get some good falls on some of these river levels, including a 1.5 foot fall here in the Quad Cities by the time we get to the end of the week. Now, if we can manage to escape some widespread heavy rain, we can continue that trend. It's been the trend so far this weekend, but if you look off to the west, we have some clouds moving in off of a batch of heavy rain producing showers and storms. That'll slide to the southeast, but that threat for more rain will be renewed as we get into the evening. Right now in our Mid-American Energy Eagle Eye, we're enjoying temperatures in the low 70s. Not a lot of humidity either, but I think that'll be changing too. I'll time out when some increased humidity will lead to those showers and storms, and who could see some stronger activity. It's coming up in your accurate forecast.
Andrew, thank you. A tree trimmer is expected to be
some dry conditions, at least for now, but already tracking some increasing moisture off to our west, leading to a cluster of showers and storms. Only a matter of time before this makes it to the Quad Cities. Time out when we're going to have the potential to see some heavy rainfall once again. It's coming up next in your accurate forecast.
You're watching WQAD. This is News 8 at 11.
Watch outside, and they need to wait for those floodwaters to recede a little bit more, right, Andrew?
Yeah, and certainly the rain in the forecast that continues to be present is not helping matters. It would really be nice if we could continue what we had for most of this weekend for about a week or two straight to really get some of these river levels down. There isn't much good news, though, when we look into the future. And if the past is any indication, as we look back about 5 years worth of June rainfall data, most of those years have given us above average rainfall. And if we look at our trends in terms of where we're headed for this month, for the remainder of it anyway, it does appear that this wet pattern is going to take hold and really establish itself and continue to do so across much of the Midwest. And I also want to throw in the factor of temperatures too. Anytime we establish this wet pattern, the sun sun's energy really can't get absorbed into the ground effectively. So I think we're also going to have some cooler temperatures this summer too. Not to say we're going to have those hotter days with highs in the 90s or heat indexes in the 100s, but certainly it's trending a little bit more on the cooler side. We have some increasing conditions for some contrails today. If you look at the sky and see those as the jets pass overhead, that's because we're a day just short of getting some rainfall. That's the next rainfall chance that comes in late tonight and into tomorrow especially. The right conditions coming in place for those. Storms will be arriving for some of us as early as this evening. There will be the threat of some heavy rain. Also can't rule out an isolated strong to severe storm, especially as we get into our Tuesday. That process of increasing moisture is already underway as we track it on our water vapor loop this morning. You can see those blue colors and the white colors indicating where the deeper moisture is, and no surprise, there's a complex of heavy rain producing thunderstorms right out in western Iowa near Omaha. Here's also a plume of some of that deeper moisture coming in from the south, and we can also measure that with the dew point values. While we're dry here with values in the 50s and 40s, go to the south and west, those are steadily increasing through the 60s and 70s. So once you go beyond that 60 to 65 value, you begin to feel a little bit of that humidity. It gets quite uncomfortable. That's where we're going to be heading for Tuesday. So while it's comfortable today, as we get to tomorrow, that deeper moisture will continue to stream to the north and reach our neck of the woods. So it will feel muggy tomorrow for sure. And while we have the sunshine this morning, notice the clouds are working in ahead of that complex off to the west. So it does appear we're going to have a few more clouds to contend with for the afternoon. And the plan of attack on Future Track anyway is to get that storm chance in here after dark. And notice it really ramps up once we get towards midnight or so into your Tuesday morning. This is when we could see that round of heavy rain situated right over top of the Quad Cities. So a noisy start to Tuesday morning. A little bit of a break until the early afternoon. Then we need to watch this new activity trying to take off. This is the activity that could potentially turn a little bit more active as we get to tomorrow afternoon and evening. Most of the area, especially Quad Cities centered west and south, is under that chance for some hail and also some damaging winds as we get into our Tuesday evening. Rainfall amounts will be locally heavy too, depending on where that band sets up. Most of us looking at the potential for about 1 to 3 inches of rain. Not the news we wanted to hear, but at least we got this dry weather in here before the next round of rain. 78 is where we're headed today. A couple of you could touch 80 degrees as well. Staying dry until this evening, and then we watch for showers and storms to continue for much of Tuesday, becoming more isolated as we get to Wednesday and Thursday, and actually looking dry now for Friday before those rain chances will sneak back in for the weekend. But you can bet we're going to be tracking those storms as they come in to see how much rainfall they drop.
Yep, because that's going to be very, very important.
That's unfortunate for our rivers, too.
Yeah, big time.
It is, just never ends.
Thanks, Andrew.
Coming up next here on News 811, time to introduce